It's Burgess Taylor from Journey with Burgess, and I am ready for August. I wasn't going to switch notebooks. My original plan was to finish out the Stology, but my new notebook came in, and after talking about it, I realized something. I was watching some videos about One Book July, and the bullet journal method specifically is that you should really love your notebook. You're spending this much time in your notebook, you really should love it. One of the other things is I worked really hard in One Book July to try to get my system together, to figure out what I wanted to do, function, form, creativity. I was back and forth, and I've been kind of in a little bit of a rut with, I won't call it a rut. I've kind of been so focused on this part, on the bullet journal part and that kind of thing. I haven't really been doing a whole lot of art. I've been creative, but I haven't been drawing or watercoloring a whole lot because I've been creative in different ways, and that's okay. Part of it was the paper in the notebook. I did a little bit of watercolor in the Stology and the B6. But anyway, I went to Staples and they were swamped. I am headed to normally I go there a few times a year and have different notebooks cut down, and the one girl didn't know what she was doing, the other girl was rude. They wanted me to sign a form in case the girl that didn't know what she was doing messed up my notebook. Now, I got a Nanami paper micro dot, which is the equivalent of what used to be the crossfield. The dots just look different. And I didn't spend that much money on a notebook to have somebody at Staples ruin it because they didn't really know what they were doing. I decided if anybody was going to ruin it, it was going to be me. So I filmed part of the process for Patreon. And I'm just going to show you my notebook. So I went ahead and set it up for August. I'm going to put whatever month I end here, and then I'll have other stickers here. This will probably be filled with stickers by the time I'm done with the notebook. So I put this back in the front, and then I've done my future log, and I've already got something written down. And I decided to do contents here, and then if I turn my notebook around, I have the actual index for certain things in the back. So the contents will be like August. I haven't written anything, so let's do this. So what I plan to do is if there's something specific for August, I will put it under. But if it's something like journaling or whatever, if it's something I specifically want to keep up with, and I have a few things because I've done some stuff in here that isn't pertinent to August, but it's pertinent, it happened to happen in August, I'll put it back in the index with like a topic name. Like if I have something that's a topic, then I'll put it in the back. My word of the year is intuition, and my phrase of the year is follow your inner compass. You will never follow your inner voice until you clear up the doubts in your mind. Roy T. Bennett. So I have this where it says trust your intuition to remind me, and I put this because it's still this year. And I glued this calendar in. I have some of these. I thought this would be a really good idea. That way I don't have to draw them out. I still have some decorations for Shark Week to put on here. My theme for August is I'm still going with the ocean thing. I'm going to do sharks and boats and things. So one of the things I wanted to write right here this is sort of, I guess, would be August's introduction page. Put this here, and this is the notes to self, sort of like a task log or a to-do list. But I like notes to self because this is a reminder to myself of different things that I want to work on. Some of them are tasks, some of them are ideas, some of them are goals, and it's just a mixture of different things. It's some of the things I'd like to get done during August, and then some has subtopics. I'm not finished with this. And then this is the work, but this washi tape, anyway, you might be able to see it better like this. What looks like EKG movements. It's for the done it. So I have things like up here for my social media. And then this is where I will do my monthly log. And these are August's wins. So some people might call it gratitude. I do a little bit different. These are things I accomplished, or something that one of my kids or my husband, or something like a really great thing. This is the weekly setup. I still have some things to put down. I've really just kind of started this, so I'm in the process of putting it all together. And I'm not tracking very much. I have 7 things on here: medication, vitamins, walk, read, get out of the house, art, and artist date. And then I have this was today's, and I went by Staples, and I have fail right here, and then the screaming because they had horrible customer service, really just horrible. And Shark Week starts, and I'm super excited. I need to fill this in, but like I said, I'm not done with everything yet. And then because it's Shark Week starting this weekend, I watched the Meg, and I did some journaling and some watercolor, and I put this here. Just put a tracker on it. What? Haven't you guys ever watched Shark Week? And I really like that because of the little boat and water, the Meg. It feels good to be back to journaling. And then that's it. I took the pin thing, and I didn't have any more of the shark stickers that were the exact same size. So I have a stingray and a dolphin. And this way, when I'm using my fountain pen, it's been great for when I'm numbering the pages. And that's all I have. And this was an A5 micro dot, and I cut it down to B6. It's not perfect by any means because I used an X-Acto knife because my rotary cutter, the blade is dull. I have had a new X-Acto knife, but it's still really hard to get it completely even with an X-Acto knife. As soon as I was setting things up on this paper, I was like, oh, Tomaway River paper. And that's one of the things I have right here. I have, again, where it's talking about this month has been a great month for experimentation and growth. Have I mentioned I love Tomaway River paper? And then I put so happy. Hey y'all, how are you? My final thoughts on One Book July. I started on the 21st of June, I believe. So what did I learn during One Book July? Well, I haven't been as creative. I have been more structured. I've been flip-flopping back and forth between trying to be more functional, added creativity back and forth in the A5 and then the B6. I was struggling. So one of the things that I really, got a good grasp on was I really do prefer the B6 size for what would be considered to be an everyday carry. Something that I can throw in my purse and just go. So that's one of the things. I prefer A5 for writing, and I'm still going to be using the Hobonichi Cousin. I haven't really used it much this month at all. I needed to concentrate on the one book. I'm taking notes. I'm going to go back through and highlight some of the notes from the bullet journal method that I really learned, that I am still working on, that are works in progress. Some of the big things that I learned. I'm actually going to be using the Hobonichi Cousin come August for work. I have realized that taking notes and keeping up with being mindful and stuff as thoughts come to me works really well in the bullet journal. But I think my to-dos, which are pretty much standard to-dos, when it's something different, every now and again I'll have something that changes. But for the most part, things are pretty routine for me. I could just put my schedule of videos, you know, and then just put the title and write some notes after I get it done, or when I'm in the middle of trying to figure everything out. I'm going to show you the Hobonichi. I actually have kept the Hobonichi weeks either on the desk in the living room that David uses, or in my purse throughout pretty much this whole month for doctor's appointments. And then I have a little insert in there that I use when we go to the grocery store. Last time we went to the grocery store, I made a list and I paper clipped it in my bullet journal, and then I took my list with me, so I didn't even use the Hobonichi week. So I'm not sure that I'm going to be getting another week's. I may just get an insert to go in there to tuck in my purse. I don't know, for random. But this is small enough I can actually carry this with me. So I may end up selling my week's cover, which is from Sheep Sparrow, I do believe. I've been using this book, well, and the A5. I went back and forth, but I've been using whatever it is I was using for almost everything. Like I said, I did a couple of little things in the Hobonichi. The second thing I've learned is that I am creative, and trying to suppress my creativity, even in this bullet journal, trying to be functional, trying to learn my actual system and method, how the bullet journal will work for me and everything. When I tried my hardest to suppress the creativity in the bullet journal, I still ended up being creative. Not being creative, not doing what comes naturally to me, made me absolutely miserable. So as I progress through August, I'm probably going to be adding more and more watercolor and journaling to the pages. It's probably going to end up very much an omni journal, the journal, a journal, my journal, the journal. Number 3, reviewing things is, for me, it's about what I did or what I didn't do. Did I do the things? Was I productive? But it's also about, did I make the most of my day? Do I need to migrate things? What did I do? What did I not do? Am I migrating the same task over and over again? Reviewing is not the same as reflecting. For me, reflecting is about the why. It's, why am I doing this or that? Why did I put this in here? Why did I even list that? How can I improve whatever it is that I have? And do I need to get rid of it? Is it valid, kind of thing? Is it important? Does it matter? And if it doesn't, you know, how do I really feel about what I'm doing and what I have listed and all of that, like my overall thoughts and feelings for the day. It's also, reviewing is about whether things work or not. It's about what I'm doing. And then I think that, is it or isn't it working, that kind of thing. So the reflection for me would be why, if it is or isn't working, and did I do or did I not do things, and what did I get done. So then the reflection becomes, why is it or isn't it working? Why did I not get things done? What do I think about? How do I feel about these things I did not get done? I'm praising myself for the things that I did get done by doing some wins on that. I have the win page. Number 4, I've learned how to incorporate some of the things that I wasn't really sure about before into my bullet journal. Things like the list, the to-dos. You know, I've talked about several times how I don't like the to-dos on my list in like where I have journaling. Figured out more or less how to incorporate notes, journaling, collections, other things. Notes are separate to me than journaling. And I mean, I love journaling. So we're here to number 5, which, I mean, we already know that, right? What I realized this past month is that I also love being organized. Not that you can tell, but I do. It eases my anxiety. But when I get stressed or overwhelmed, or I get really busy, when things are crazy busy, like if I'm being really productive, or David and I have a lot going on, or when I'm in a lot of pain, when I'm working with the anxiety and depression or whatever, I end up not organized. And I have been trying to figure out how to find a way to make things work for me, to be more organized, to get things organized. Have yet to do this setup in here, which I have, and I think that's because it's such a wreck in here. But one of the things is that I realized something about the journals and the journaling and changing up things so much. There are times when I am really inspired to change things up. And I don't mind changing things up. Like, I've gotten notebooks that did not work. Like, I like the way the Leuchtturm paper feels. I like the notebook. I like the soft cover notebooks, but I like white paper. Now, I can draw on the cream colored paper. Like, I have a little insert that has cream Tomaway River paper in it, and it doesn't bother me doing drawing and doodling and watercolor, but colors do show up way better on the white paper. Easier to photograph and everything. But I would love to have like B6 size Leuchtturm notebooks with a soft cover to put in like one of these, as a little extra notebook, but it's going to have the cream paper. And I'm not going to buy anymore, because I know that after like, 25 pages or so, I'm going to get frustrated because it has the cream paper. I can actually use that if I'm just writing, or if I'm just doing like drawing and sketching. I like the way plain black ink looks on the cream paper for like sketching, just ink sketches. So that's probably what I'm going to do with my insert that I have. And then I also realized that one of the big things, though, that happens sometimes is that I'll change up journals. I'll go to a new notebook, not the exterior, the interior, not just when I get bored, but sometimes I do that when I get filled with anxiety and depression, or anxiety or depression when I get really scattered and unorganized, and I feel like I need to reorganize, because the setting up of a new notebook makes me feel more organized, because then it doesn't have all that crap, the clutter, so I reach for a new journal when I feel that way. And that usually, when I get to that point, there's something else going on that I actually really need to address, instead of just picking up a new journal, fresh start. So I have to figure out, am I doing this because this journal's not working for me? Or am I doing this because I'm avoiding and evading what is really going on, like the mess in here? My outlook on some of this has really changed over this past month. I want to have volumes of these. I want to put them all up on the shelf in there, or back there, and have them labeled, and I think the way that things usually worked for me when I was doing like the Omni Journal or the bullet, where anywhere from 1 to 4, like anywhere from 2 to 4 months was how much I could fit in a journal, depending on how big the journal was, and depending on how many pages the journal, like whether it was an A5 or B6, whether it had like 200 pages or 100 and something pages, or 300 to 400 pages. So I should be able to get at least 2 months per journal, maybe 3 months depending, but for everything in the journal, it's not really bad. And that's okay, because if I do a journal and I get 2 months per journal, then that would be 6 journals a year. And I'm okay with that. I write big and I write a lot. So that's not really that big of a deal, because there are some days when, because I'm doing journaling, and I'm going to be doing more art, and I'm adding pictures, and I'm doing the bullet journal stuff. I'm going to have collections and the calendar and different things like that. Everything's going to be in here for the most part. It really depends on, like I said, I'm wordy, and I have written out like coffee chats in here, but that's going to change, because I'm going to go back to what I was doing, where I have the Breeze with the AVEC, and I'm going to be writing out my coffee chats in the Breeze so that I have the notebook. This is work stuff. I will see y'all again soon. Thanks for watching, y'all. I hope you have a great one. Bye.